Hi Aries, I am the Awakened Dreamer, and I'm here to give you your monthly general tarot reading for the month of January 2021 as we begin this new year, or we make our way into. And I do want to take this moment to, of course, express my gratitude and appreciation genuinely for all of your likes, comments, and subscriptions if you are new to this channel. And I meditated on your energy overall for the month before beginning the reading. And the message that came through was taking charge, of course. Taking charge, of course. Love it. So let's get started. Let's first pull a message or two from the wisdom of the Oracle deck. Oh, and if you're brand new to this channel, welcome first of all. But also it's good to be aware that I do take typically flyer or jumper cards when shuffling, as well as when guided to, I take a card from the top or bottom of the deck. Just good to be aware of. Alrighty. Spirit, what do we have for our lovely Aries? Ooh, that was quick. Coming up fast. To begin this January 2021 reading. All right, so first off, we have a change in the wind. Feels like towards the end of 2020, you, Aries, took a seat in the back, where you kind of sat back and allowed things to kind of unravel, or you sort of didn't take as much of a leadership or role in one way, shape, or form, or in certain areas of your life. But it does feel like starting the new year, making your way into January, there's a change of wind. There's a change in the way you deal with certain people and situations. You know, like we were saying, you're taking charge, of course. You're an Aries. Good start. And then here and now. It does feel like as you take charge of your life as a whole, or just certain aspects moving into the new year, you may find it very difficult to stay mentally present. It may feel like when, even in the middle of a small task or in the middle of your daily job or whatever it is for you, or just cleaning the house or whatever, you will very easily, just without meaning to, slip mentally into the past and start reliving situations, or slip into the future and maybe stress yourself out a little bit. So just try to do your best, even if it feels impossible, to stay present. Meditation and breathing will definitely help you. You gotta stay grounded. And then Yang. And what's coming through with this is you do have to work on your yin and your yang, balancing things out. It feels like you're ready to start the new year, ready to start January full charge, you know, accomplish all of this, all of that. You have so much that you want to do. You know, even if it's not just goals, it's just, or I guess they are still goals. It just feels like you have a lot you want to accomplish and do. And you just want to, kind of like we were saying in Sagittarius reading, you want to just kind of make this year much bigger and brighter and more beautiful than 2020 was. But it does feel like you do need to do a lot of balancing in your daily routine, in your mind, in your life in general. It's interesting, we were just talking about that. A lot of simplifying. And then building blocks. It feels like you, in your mind at least, you're kind of taking a fresh approach to certain things, to your life as a whole, kind of starting to view it as building from the ground up. Again, very much like Sagittarius reading. In a different way though. It feels like you may have to start your career from the ground up again, or maybe with certain relationships, maybe having to start new relationships after cutting certain people out. Interesting. Or I want to say a group of friends. But again, the winds are changing, my friend. So if it feels like 2020 was a struggle, if it feels like you've had some ups and downs and had to cut people out and all, it's changing. So keep that in mind. Let's pull a couple messages, or a few messages rather, from the tea leaf deck. It is quite large, so we're going to figure out which half to go with. This one's the winner. Alrighty, Spirit, what do we have for Aries to continue this monthly January 2020 read? Very feisty the way they're coming out. First up, we have not unsuccessful plans. It feels like this, for a lot of you Aries, this was unsuccessful plans that happened at the end of 2020 or in the middle of it. And it feels like you just kind of have to deal with it moving into 2021 and try to not let it affect the way you approach or your confidence when it comes to new adventures, new projects, or anything of the sort. And then we have Harp, great happiness. I feel the need to remind you, Aries, that moving into the new year, you're going to have a lot of happiness. But I do feel like you need to also be reminded that it's when you do things in your own way, not in the way other people do it, or how society expects you to. And then we have Key, successful outcome to your problems. Love it. Any problems that do arise throughout the month, just know that you will find a solution for it. You will sort of, even if need be a little bit creative in order to resolve whatever it is or overcome an obstacle. Good to know. Let's continue and do some shuffling and pull 6 tarot cards for the month. A simple 6-card spread, if you will. One shuffled down. Second shuffle. Alrighty, Spirit, what do we have for Aries to continue this monthly read for January 2021? Thank you, Spirit. Interesting. And we're going to pull the last 3 from the top of the deck. In 6 of Cups, I believe I was mentioning it's going to be hard for you to stay present mentally. Yeah, and no surprise that this card popped out in the reading. Thinking about the past, absolutely. Very nostalgic. In the 8 of Pentacles as well, you may be very focused or maybe utilizing a job or a business or project to distract you from whatever's going on. Interesting. Or whatever's resurfacing. So we're starting off with the Ace of Wands. So you start off the month feeling very much like you have a chance at a fresh start, whether it's just in one area, whether it's with a job or a person or friends or your family, or it just feels like you have, or just in general, or it feels like you have a fresh start for your life in general. But it does feel like you start off the month feeling very intuitive or just very mentally on fire. Your thoughts are just one after another. Just try to breathe, simplify things. And there's a change in the wind next to it. And I feel like feel the need to say whatever you do end up overthinking, there's a change happening. Don't stress it. Things won't happen the same way they did in the past. However that resonates. And then we have the 3 of Swords to move right along to the second card. And so the middle of the first half of the month arrives and you either will encounter a situation where it does break your heart in one way, shape, or form, or you again are just all up in your head and thinking about a situation that broke your heart or that made you feel very emotional. Maybe somebody that stabbed you in the back in the past, or a group of people. It does feel like it's about somebody or a situation that's no longer in your life. For the better though, so keep that in mind as well. And then we have the 5 of Cups to move right along to the third card. And I feel like, so you wrap up the first half of the month almost dwelling over what's gone. Dwelling over friends, people, places, and situations that are no longer in your life, again, for a reason. Just keep in mind, remember all of these cups that you do have still full, all the abundance, all the people and situations that you still have to be grateful and thankful for. It just feels like a very mental, very emotional first half of the month. But again, winds are changing. And then the Knight of Wands to move on to the second half of the spread/month. And something happens that makes you snap out of it. You know, I do feel like your guides, spirit, the universe as a whole has something to do with it. But there's an occurrence of some sort moving into the second half of the month where you feel now more passionate to begin this half of the month, feeling more on fire. More like you, more like Aries. You are a fire sign, remember? And it's aligned with this Ace of Wands, and I do feel like you do a better job at this point of getting out of your mind a little bit more. So when you do find yourself going from the past and then to the future, back to the present and all over the place, remember how this feels. To kind of do a better job at not being all over the place mentally and sort of just being in the moment and feeling good and feeling like the powerful fire sign you are. And it feels like by doing so, again, you're taking charge of certain habits you have. You're taking charge of the way you act and react to certain situations and people. Improving oneself. Beautiful, Aries. Good job. Moving right along, we have the Queen of Wands. And so that feeling does definitely carry through or continue as you make your way into the middle of the second half of the month, but in a more calm and content way, less energetic. It's like you go from this, all that good stuff we're talking about, but very energetic, to a bit more peaceful, calm. I want to say not as fire sign-like. But the happiness, the joy is very consistent at this point in the month. It's aligned with the Three of Swords, and I feel like you come to a conclusion or you allow yourself to kind of take a different mindset or perspective on whatever emotional issue we were talking about previously, that occurred previously. And again, this cat is coming through as your spirit guide. Love it. Just always with you. And then we're finishing off the month/spread with the Two of Wands. And so you finish off the month feeling very future oriented, very focused on where you're heading, on how this year is going to unravel. Kind of looking back at January as it finishes up, and kind of evaluating whether or not that's how you see your entire year happening. Try not to overthink. Because I feel like you do a better job at getting out of your head here. Just try not to bring it back and end the month on the same note you started off on. Because it feels very kind of somber. But you may be thinking about traveling or moving, or simply just starting a new job, or thinking about where your career is going. And it's aligned with this Five of Cups, and I feel like as you do think about the future, again, it could be just as easy to slip right back into dwelling over the past. So it does feel like but interestingly enough, now that I look at it, the first half of the month ends dwelling over the past and what's gone, and the month ends on you looking to the future. So I think it's the better of the two, if you ask me. Let's continue and pull a crystal card, see which crystal will benefit you at this time and moving forward. What do we have for Aries to continue this monthly reading for January? What crystal will benefit them? I'm going to go with that one. We got Herkimer Diamond. Beautiful. And so let me show you, there are several different categories on the back. I'm not going to read them all, but let me just bear with me as I figure out which ones to read. Okay, so we have Who Needs It? Reiki Masters, Travelers on the Spiritual Path, Highly Sensitive People. I feel like not a lot of you Aries drawn to this video are the sensitive of the people that I read for, but I feel like otherwise that message was relevant. And then where to put it: in spaces you want to zone as sacred. Love it. So wherever you have wherever you would consider your sanctuary, your getaway, for maybe at the end of the day. And then let's finish off this beautiful reading by pulling a message or two from the Star Seeds deck. What do we have for Aries to wrap up this monthly read? Love it. Blue flame. Connect to the blue flame, which is the light of pure love within you. Excuse me. Connect to that inner loving being that you truly are, is what I feel the need to say. Just gonna leave it at that. Earth guide. Your sacred calling upon this planet is to simply love and be loved. Both of them have to do with love, my friend. And this also came through in Sagittarius reading. You're going to be reminded at certain points of the month how loved you truly are and how guided you are and protected at the end of the day. But as you make your way through January, my friend, keep taking charge and keep doing things your way, Aries way. And with that said and done, I once again more than appreciate your likes and comments and subscriptions if you haven't done so already. And I hope this reading was truly helpful. Hope you have the most amazing month, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Aries.